But the things that you were doing to bring telehealth to the north and to communities in Ghana that need it most are really magnificent. And I'm so glad that it's been acknowledged continent-wide as a model. So congratulations. And Regina, whom everybody knows, I'm not saying it properly, Regina, who is a 2014 fellow and who's actively been involved in building confidence among girls to embrace STEM while using technology for human growth and finding homegrown solutions to Ghana's programs. And we've had lots of conversations about what can be done in the north as well. That seems to be a theme right now, but I just think that's because of the acknowledged sort of gap in development indicators in the north and all along the coast. Rhoda Wedham, is Rhoda here? I had the privilege of visiting Rhoda and the girls she's helped in Tamale with Linda Thomas Greenfield, who's an American cabinet member, who's our representative to the United Nations. And both of us were so moved by the help that Rhoda has extended to girls who were particularly vulnerable, who were head bearers in Accra, and because they had to leave home because economic times were so tough. She's brought them home and given them skills so that they can stay and make contributions to their community and also then not be prey to some of the things that they were prey to in Accra. I also had the privilege of visiting the lab of Dr. Laud Anthony Basing, the former leader of this organization too, and I was so inspired to see the young scientists and young people working there to make contributions to Ghanaian health through production of low-cost, high-effectiveness test kits. And he's received all kinds of patents in the United States and received one, I think, while he was a Mandela Washington Fellow, I want to say. And his PhD flowed from that. Really quite a story and quite something to see what he's doing in his community in Kumasi about the importance of African leadership and dynamic leadership. And to strike a sort of serious policy note, as we look at the rollback of democracy in West Africa, I have appreciated that there is a continuum between liberty and security, and that people will sacrifice their liberty sometimes in order to achieve security. The Taliban in the 90s was invited back into Afghanistan because people were afraid that their daughters would get raped when they stepped outside the gate. And if you don't want that, you might accept sort of some diminution of your other liberties in order to be safe. And so I had kind of made that point in American policy discussions, and I was called to task by a peer who said, no, in fact, what you need is not less democracy, you need more democracy as a solution to the problem. And that's because you need your George Washingtons who will acknowledge that you need term limits, and you need your Mandelas. He said Martin Luther King, because that's our most common reference point. But you need people who speak out and say discrimination against any particular minority is the leading edge indicator that democracy is rolling back. It will make you unsafe and less prosperous, rather than more safe and more prosperous. So I think the example of the Mandela Washington Fellow and fellowships and the example of you fellows is so powerful in current times in West Africa. And I am expecting great things, and I'm looking forward to what you have to say, Professor. And I hope we will continue the conversation about servant leadership. And I will also acknowledge your very pointy remarks about the need for the United States government to continue to support that.